Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Legends and Non-Classics. This is episode number 2941 and Doubleshot number 2835. I got two Marvel trades and they both feature Spider-Man. First up, it's the original Marvel Zombies miniseries. Well, collecting trade here. Oh, in case you're curious though, I have reviewed Marvel Zombies 2, 3, 4, and 5. This one I've not reviewed yet. One of the few Marvel Zombies books I have not reviewed yet. Actually, many. I've only reviewed a few of them. So, this is, of course, a follow-up to another story. Yes, there's actually two stories precede this very one. I think it was. Because I know this all started with Ultra Fantastic 4, issues 21 and 24. I read those issues, but I haven't reviewed them yet. So this picks up after one of the previous Marvel Zombies books where Magneto was sealed off the Earth, where the heroes are zombies. Oh, in case you're curious, the cover is a homage to Amazing 15. That's a homage to Spider-Man number 1 by Tom McFarlane. So basically, Magneto, who's human, is confronted by zombie versions of Giant Man, Wasp, Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Captain America, Colonel America, because in this universe he's a colonel. Oh, look at this cover here. Clear homage, Amazing Spider-Man 50. So, yeah, and so he's, I was right by, it was zombie versions of Spider-Man, Giant Man, also Nova, Moon Knight, Thor, Colonel America, Wolverine, Luke Cage, and Angel. You're thinking, Wolverine is a virus. Well, apparently his healing factor doesn't work on the virus. Of course, they're all hungry, and of course, you see Colonel get his head, part of his head chopped off. Because, of course, he's hungry, he needs flesh. Oh yeah, and also, Zombie Hawkeye gets killed by Magneto using Cap's shield. And of course you have Wasp biting him, and of course you don't want to share it, and of course they proceed to eat him. Yes, they eat him. Because they're zombies. And of course you see Bruce Banner where he's like chubby. Yeah, then of course everybody's getting whacked around. And then the Silver Surfer shows up. Like, more food. Because these are zombies. Oh yeah, and then it's revealed where Giant Man basically goes to his laboratory where he has the Black Panther and he's being kept for his own personal food. He's already chopped off one of his arms and then he proceeds to slice up one of his legs. Wasp confronts about this. He smacks her and then proceeds to bite her head off. Then Silver Surfer applies, of course, these zombie versions of, get this, Captain Britain, Doctor Doom, look like Sunfire and Silver Samurai, looks like a zombie Valkyrie. I think that's Porcupine. This looks like a zombie Titanium Man right here. And then, of course, we see zombie versions of Captain Marvel, Vulture, and Hercules. Oh, yeah, we see various other Marvel superheroes being zombies, including Iron Man. It's like all about eating or so about so hungry. Because the thing is, the zombie superheroes have practically eaten almost the entire human population. Oh, yeah, and also everything is like so ruined. Oh, in case you're curious, how the heck did all this happen? The Senshi virus in space turned by the zombies. That's the explanation for this. And then we see a zombie Black Bolt and Quicksilver. Like, Galactus is coming, and of course, like, the zombie's like, you're just food. And then, of course, Iron Man gets supposedly killed. And, of course, they proceed to eat him. Well, after they beat him up, and, of course, obviously, Zombie Ghost Rider and Zombie Gambit and Black Widow they proceed, and, of course, you have Black Panther taking the zombie wasp head with him. And then we see the Acolytes, where it's like, and then Galactus shows up. He says, "Prepare to be devoured in the name of Galactus. So your lives must end. I must live. Although my hunger is at its peak, I must pause a moment and ask, where is my hero? Where is my servant, Silver Surfer?" And Giant Man's like, if you mean by Surfer, you mean that silver guy we flew around on the Surfer? We ate him. It's like, what? You pray, but we're so hungry. Galactus like, you're hungry? You hunger? Yeah. He fires his beams at them, and then the heroes proceed to eat Galactus. Yeah, and also, like, burns. Of course, he throws basically zombie wasp, and of course, he doesn't turn. And yeah, but then we have this funny bit here where Spider-Man and Luke Cage are just playing cards, and Luke Cage missing half his body. And of course, you have Cap coming back. He's like, "Oh yeah, we found a way." And of course, you have this really gross moment where Bruce Banner is taking part of his own guts and eating them. It's like, what are you doing this? Yeah, and then of course they fail first, and the villains try to basically take him on. Oh yeah, by the way, Black Panther goes to Asteroid M, and he works with Forge, who is probably the only X-Men who survived this, and he stays there for 5 years. Yep. So they build a device to kill Galactus. Yeah, and of course the villains and heroes fight over who's gonna eat Galactus. Well, the heroes win and they eat Galactus. Well, actually, Colonel America is killed by Zombie Red Skull, but of course they do eat Galactus. And then they come back on 5 years later, where Black Panther's got a new arm, and of course you have Amelia carrying a baby. Because I think she and Black Panther basically, they had sex, and of course they had a baby. And of course then we see Wasp, who's now in this robot suit. Oh yeah, the plan is that there's nobody there, no humans. And then we cut to a world where like we have this ruler talking to his heir. I'm not sure if it's a boy or a girl. It's like the Galactus has come. And the Galactus is made up of the zombie Giant Man, Iron Man, Luke Cage, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and the Hulk. And they proceed to eat that planet. And in the miniseries. Really good. Yeah, the whole zombie stuff has been gross, but I've got this book roughly a 9 out of 10. But don't have kids read it. And here's the thing. Despite the fact Marvel has still constantly published Marvel Zombies over the years, some people have said the peak for this, which is from 2005 2000. Like, after 2007, it's like anything published for Marvel Zombies afterward where as good as stuff come out here. Alright, next up we have is Marvel's Miles Morales Spider-Man Volume 3 Gang War, which collects Miles Morales Volume 2 Miles Morales Spider-Man issues 13 and 16, and Giants on Spider-Man number 1. This will be volume 2, number 1. And just collecting his story from that book. What's the purpose of the Giant Size Spider-Man? Well, it was to celebrate, get this, 50 years of Giant Size books. And some of them were okay. So, you have Cody Ziegler writing the whole thing here. The artwork for the Giant Size book is artwork done by Ivan Carlo. Now, in the case of the Miles Morales main issue, it's done by Federico Finici and Federica Michi. So, the Giant Size book, which, yes, paid appearance by Venom, this, of course, is not Eddie Brock. Miles does ask, Eddie, is that you? He's like, we hate Eddie. Yeah, that's actually Dylan. And, of course, references the main book, where issue 5, we have Spider-Man and, of course, Venom basically deal with basically, like, this group. And, of course, they temporarily team up, and, of course, he's going to kill them. Yeah, and then, of course, Mrs. Knight shows up to stop him. Oh, yeah, and it's definitely Dylan who's hosting it, who's hosting the symbiote. And then he gets away, and this is basically a tease for, this is a prologue into the gang war tie-in for this book. Yeah, I've reviewed the main story. Basically, Miles basically just does his own thing, and this is basically Miles up to in Brooklyn while a lot of the main story was happening over Amazing Spider-Man. So basically, a lot of this book is simply put, Miles versus the Hobgoblin. Roger Kingsley Hobgoblin. Which, oh yeah, he also fights the Phosphero, a character who had zero role in the main book, and yet he's one of the people who contributed one of the villains of this whole story. So yeah, Miles fights him. Of course, we have a flashback of him training with Colleen Wang, one of the 2 ex-girlfriends of, well, she previously dated Danny Rand, but didn't went anywhere. So after training with them, and of course fighting his other guys, of course he has sort of a truce with the Cape Killers in this story. Yeah, and then of course we have Aaron Johnson show up, Miles' uncle, aka the Prowler. And he actually puts on the Hobie Brown Prowler suit, and we'll get back to that. Yeah, and the Enforcers are there, with Montana basically now sporting this weird mustache, looking completely different. Because they're basically like the modern age. Of course, you have Scorpion work with, and we have Sterling, Miles' girlfriend, looking for Shift. Yeah. And we see the Prowler, of course, Miles is fighting his own uncle, and the Enforcers. Yep. And then, of course, Kamala Khan shows up, because she doesn't have a book right now. Yep. And then, of course, we have a really cool moment here. We have the original Prowler, who now known as Hornet. Oh, and here's also something interesting, though. Not only is he back here, we also see, get this, a Beyond Corporation building in this book. And here's the thing. That has not been seen at this point for 2 years. Because last time anybody saw the Beyond Corporation anything related to was at the end of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 5. And of course you have Aaron meeting the original Prowler. He's like, so, you're the one who taught me, you're the one who thought I could fill my shoes. Of course, Aaron's like, who? Hornet. Thought some folks can used to call me, thought some people call me the Prowler. I heard a fanboy running around cosplaying as much. See my own eyes. Hands up. Here face to face and watch you for a while. You seem on the level, so come with a gift. Hobgoblin's kind of Brooklyn. Maybe you can use the Prowler to get in close to find our way. So you need to do that. Look the part. Moa comes. Oh, catch Sibby, I'm back at you. I'm like, that is interesting. The fact that we actually have the original Prowler, Hobie Brown, meeting Aaron, who basically was him in the Ultimate Universe. Except probably in that universe where he was basically a cat burglar. Yeah, I found this to be quite interesting. Like, good job at Cody Ziegler's fault. Apart, basically, for doing this. Because I think some people didn't think this would ever happen. Or how you would meet Aaron, a guy who was the other Prowler. And, well... And, of course, do the whole Cape Killer stuff. Which, of course, includes Scorpion. And then, of course, they... it's like, good, you got this, bro, you got this. And Scorpion tells Sterling, like, your boyfriend's real annoying, kid. And Sterling's like, no comment. And, of course, like, yeah, Z-listers, Mamble and Mr. Fish. Yes, call these two Z-listers. And this is the guy who created by Jerry Conway. Yeah, and of course, call these two Z-listers. And, of course, fighting Shocker. And of course, you have Hobgoblin, basically chipping in two. You gotta look the part and take down Hobgoblin. And, of course, big brawl to end this thing here. What? More bombs? Yeah, and by the way, Miles suspected his uncle was working with Hobgoblin because he carried pumpkin bombs. And, of course, here's a ruined Beyond Corporation building. Yes. Which they blow up. And then, of course, it goes over to the Amazing Spider-Man book, basically to wrap up Gang War. This book was a lot of fun. Despite being tied to Gang War, it has a good story. Like, I think that this is another case where the tie-ins were a lot more interesting than the actual main story, which this is a lot of fun. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Do I think it's better than Main Event? Yes. Because it's Miles at his finest. Yes, of course, you have Kamala Khan here. Obviously, because they're all friends and champions. And the Prowler scene, the original Prowler meeting Miles' uncle, I thought that was really cool. I never thought that would ever happen. Never thought that. And yet here we are. They meet. Awesome. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, doing this like button. Next up, 7 Deadly Sins, 4 Nights Apocalypse. Okay, next video. Bye.